Give the Charlie's around dinner time. That's a cozy little spot. Let's go there now and talk that over with a tall one.
We're going no place. If you don't sit down, button up your lip, and give me some straight answers, I'm gonna beat it out of you.
What you suggest is impossible.
What's that?
You suggest that I button up my lip and give you some straight answers, and that can't be done. Let me handle this, Wilson.
We'll handle it then, but find out where the doctor is.
Dr. Charlie did come into Charlie's place to say.
Yes, she did, and I was very happy to see her.
Okay.
She asked for me, and naturally the proprietor brought her over to me and left her. We exchanged a conversational greeting. I said, "How do you do, Dr. Chumley?" And she said, "How do you do, Mr. Dowd?" I believe we said that at least once.
Okay, go on.
Well, I'm trying to be factual. I then introduced her to Harvey.
To who?
A white rabbit, 6 feet tall.
6 feet?
6'1.5".
Okay, yeah, fool around with him, the doctor's probably someplace bleeding to death in a ditch.
But you see, if those were her plans for the evening, she did not tell me.
Go on down.
Well, Harvey then suggested that we buy Dr. Chumley a drink, knowing that she did not like to drink alone. So I suggested to Dr. Chumley that we join her.
So,
We joined her.
and what?
We joined her again.
Go on.
We kept right on joining her.
Skip all the joining.
You asked me to skip a very large portion of the evening, Mr. Wilson.
Just tell us where the doctor is, please.
Well, Harvey and the doctor then got into a conversation. Quietly at first, but later became rather heated. Dr. Chumley raised her voice.
Yeah? Why's that?
Well, it seemed that Harvey felt that Dr. Chumley should assume part of the financial responsibility for the joining, and Dr. Chumley didn't seem to want to do that.
I can believe that part of it.
Let him talk. See how far he'll go. This guy's got guts.
Well, I took the whole thing because I didn't want any trouble. Harvey and I go down to Charlie's quite often, and prior to that, he's a very interesting man with a very interesting approach on life. And then the other matter came up.
Cut the damn double talk and get on with it.
Mr. Wilson, you are a very sincere type of person, but I must ask that you do not use that language in the presence of Miss Kelly.
You're right, Mr. Dowd, and we're sorry. You said the other matter came up?
Yes. There was a handsome blonde gentleman, a Mr. Smithhouse. Him and his escort, they were sitting in the booth directly across from us. Well, Dr. Chumley went over to chat with him, insisting that they had met once in Chicago. Yes, Chicago. Well, his escort didn't really seem to like that, so she escorted Dr. Chumley back to me and Harvey and pointed out it would be better if Dr. Chumley would mind her own affairs. Does she have any?
Does she have any what?
Does she have any affairs?
Oh, Mr. Dowd, please, we're so worried.
Well, Harvey then suggested to Dr. Chumley that they go down to Eddie's bar, but it seemed that Dr. Chumley wanted to go to Barney's Chicken Inn. And while they argued about it, I went to the bar to get a drink, and when I returned, they were gone.
Where did they go? I mean, where did the doctor go?
I don't know. I had a date out here with Miss Kelly and Dr. Sanderson, and I came out here to pick them up. I was hoping that maybe later in the evening we run into Dr. Chumley and Harvey, and we'd make a party out of it.
Okay. You satisfied? You got his story? All right, buddy. You're lying, and I know it.
Maybe he's lying, Wilson.
And I never lie, Mr. Wilson.
That's all this guy is a bunch of lies.
Maybe Dr. Charlie did go down to Charlie's place.
And talk to a big white rabbit, I suppose.
And why not? Harvey was there. Dr. Chumley did seem a little frightened of Harvey at first, but that gave away to admiration as the evening wore on. The evening wore on. That is such a nice saying, isn't it? And with your permission, I'm going to say it again. The evening wore on.
With your permission, I'm gonna knock your teeth down your throat.
Oh, Mr. Wilson, haven't you some old friends that you can play with?
The nerve of this guy! You could just come down from ignoring your case in the DT's here to come in here with a 6-foot rabbit!
Well, as stimulating as all of this is, I really must be getting downtown.
Mr. Dowd.
Yes, Menu. Is it okay if I hold your hand?
Yes, it's fine. Mr. Chumley's oh so worried about the doctor. Very, very worried. If there's anything you remember, anything at all.
My dear, for you, I'd be willing to do anything. I'd almost be willing to live my life over again. But I've told it all.
You're sure?
Quite sure, but please say it again. I like that warm tone you just had in your voice.
So did I.
Oh, nuts.
What?
Nuts.
I really must be getting downtown. I have things to do.
But, Mr. Dowd.
Yes.
What is it you do?
Harvey and I. We go down to the bars, and we order a drink or two, and we go play the jukebox. Soon, the faces of the other people, they turn toward us and they're saying, "We don't know who you are, mister, but you are a lovely fellow." Harvey and I, we warm ourselves in these golden moments. We come to strangers, and soon, we have friends. They sit with us. And they talk with us and they drink with us. They tell us about the big, terrible things they've done and the wonderful things that they plan to do. They tell us about their hopes, their dreams, their loves, and their hates. All very, very large because no one ever brings anything small into a bar. And then, I introduce them to Harvey. And he is bigger and grander than anything they have to offer me. When they leave impressed. The same people seldom come back, but that's envy, my dear. And there's envy in the best of us. It's rather too bad.
Why did you happen to call him Harvey?
Harvey's his name.
How do you know that?
Actually, that was a rather interesting coincidence, Doctor. One night I was walking late along 18th and 19th in Fairfax, and you know that block?
Yes.
Well, I just helped Ed Hickey into a taxi. It seemed that Ed had been mixing his gin with his rye, and I felt that he needed conveying. I then started to walk down the street, when I heard a voice say, "Good evening, Mr. Guy." I turned, and there was this great white rabbit leaning up against the lamppost. Well, I thought nothing of that. Because when you've lived in a town as long as I've lived in this one, you get used to the fact everybody knows your name. Well, anyway, he said to me, "Ed Hickey was a little spiffed this evening, or could I be mistaken?" Well, of course, he was not mistaken. I think the world and all of that, but he was spiffed. Anyway, I then said to him, "You have the advantage on me. You know my name, and I don't know yours." And right back at me, he said, "Well, what name do you like?" Well, I didn't even have to think a minute. Harvey has always been my favorite name, so I said, "Harvey." And this is the interesting part of the whole thing, Doctor. He said, "What a coincidence. My name happens to be Harvey."
What was your father's name, Mr. Dowd?
John Frederick.
Mr. Dowd, when you were a child, you had a playmate, didn't you? Someone you were very fond of, who you spent with any hobby care for hours?
Well, of course, Doctor, didn't you?
What was his name?
Oh, Vern McElhenney. Did you ever know McElhenney's Doctor?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. There were a lot of them and they circulated, but they